Welcome to the deep dive. If you've ever downloaded a new app, maybe tried out a productivity tool, or even signed up for a streaming service, chances are you've hit that free trial. It feels so normal, doesn't it? Like a really low commitment way to check something out.
Yeah.
But there's this kind of paradox here. Getting users in the door for free seems easy, right?
Yeah.
An easy win. But the real challenge, the magic really, is turning those free explorers into actual loyal paying customers.
Yeah.
It's honestly make or break for so many businesses.
It absolutely is. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. Our mission really is to untangle this super vital metric in the SaaS world, software as a service. We're talking about the free trial conversion rate. We're going to unpack what it is, why it's such a cornerstone for product-led growth strategies. We'll break down how you calculate it, look at some industry benchmarks, what's normal, what's not, and maybe most importantly, uncover the factors, sometimes surprising ones, that influence whether someone clicks subscribe.
Yeah, and we've got this detailed article guiding us. It's packed with insights, definitions, calculations, benchmarks, and some really practical best practices. What really struck me from the sources was just how much these conversion rates can swing depending on the type of free trial or even the industry. I think you'll probably have a few aha moments during this deep dive. So let's kick off with the basics. What exactly are we talking about when we say free trial conversion rate?
Okay, yeah. At its heart, it's simply the percentage of your free trial users who actually become paying customers when their trial runs out. It's that critical point where a user thinks, okay, yeah, this thing is valuable enough, I'll pay for it. Now, the calculation, it's pretty straightforward. You take the number of users who converted, went from trial to paid, divide that by the total number of people who started a free trial in that same period, then multiply by 100 to get the percentage. So, quick example. Say 1,400 people started a trial last month, and 400 of them ended up paying. Your conversion rate is 28.6%. Simple as that.
Got it, 28.6%. That makes sense numerically. But, okay, beyond just knowing the number, why is tracking this rate so vital? What does it really tell a business?
Oh, it tells them a lot. First off, it's absolutely essential for benchmarking. It lets a company see, how are we doing compared to others in our specific space? Are we ahead of the curve, behind? Where's the room for improvement?
Right, context is everything.
Exactly. Second, it's a massive indicator for evaluating product market fit, PMF, as it's often called. Tracking this rate over time helps you zero in on that sweet spot where your product truly clicks with the audience and it's ready to scale up. A steady, high, or even improving conversion rate, that's a strong signal you've probably hit PMF.
Oh, okay. So it's like a health check for the product's resonance.
Precisely. And third, it's invaluable for segment analysis. When you know which types of users are converting at the highest rates, well, that helps you pinpoint your ideal customers. Then your marketing can be much more targeted, much more efficient. It helps you understand who you're really building this for.
That's a really important point. It shifts how you think about marketing, maybe even product development itself, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of differences, you mentioned not all free trials are the same. That must change how users act, right? What are the main kinds we see out there in SaaS?
Absolutely. Understanding the model is crucial because it really shapes user commitment and, ultimately conversion rates. Let's break them down. First, you've got opt-in free trials. This is probably what most people picture. Users get access for a limited time, maybe to core features, maybe everything, but crucially, without providing credit card details up front. The main goal here is just to let the user experience the product's value, get them hooked.
Low barrier to entry.
Exactly. So you tend to get more signups. But the flip side is conversion rates are typically lower because, the users aren't as committed from the get-go. They're just, kicking the tires.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Then there are opt-out free trials. Now, this is quite different. Here, users have to provide payment info to start the trial. The understanding is they won't be charged until the trial ends, but the card is on file.
Okay, so higher friction up front.
Definitely. It can put some people off, for sure. But what it does very effectively is filter out leads who aren't really serious. And the data backs this up strongly. First Page Sage found opt-out trials had a conversion rate of around 48.8%. Compare that to just 18.2% for opt-in.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
It is. And interestingly, these opt-out models tend to work best for companies that maybe already have a solid user base or a well-known product. People are more willing to hand over details if they trust the brand or know the value proposition.
Okay, so opt-in, opt-out. What else?
Next up, freemium models. Think of this like a free trial that, never ends. Users get permanent access to a free version of the product, usually with limited features. To get the good stuff, the premium features, they need to upgrade.
Like Spotify free versus premium or something like that.
Exactly like that. The whole idea is to give users a constant taste of the product, subtly showing them what they're missing in the paid version, nudging them towards upgrading. Because it's essentially an unlimited free tier, conversion rates are generally lower, often somewhere between 1% and 10%.
Right, it's a long game.
It is. And finally, there's a newer approach called reverse trials. This one's a bit of a hybrid. Users start off with the full premium plan right away. They get the best experience, all the features. Then, when the trial period ends, they're automatically downgraded to a free or freemium tier.
So they experience the best, then feel the loss.
That's the psychology, exactly. The hope is, having used the superior premium version, they won't want to go back to the basic one. Loss aversion, right. But there's a definite risk. If that downgraded freemium version feels too basic, too watered down, users might just churn out altogether. It's a bit of a gamble.
Yeah, that idea of perceived loss is really potent. It makes you think about how companies frame that initial free offer. But okay, this brings us back to the big question everyone asks. What's actually a good conversion rate? Because I'm guessing it's not just one magic number.
You're spot on. There's no single good number that fits everyone. It's super dependent on context. You really have to look at several factors, like industry averages, for one. Conversion rates can be wildly different depending on the sector. You might see rates as low as, say, 18.6% for complex enterprise software, but then maybe as high as 29% for CRM platforms.
Okay, so comparing an enterprise tool to a CRM is apples and oranges.
Completely. It just hammers home why you need to benchmark within your specific sector. It's not against some generic average that doesn't really apply to your product or your market.
Right. What else influences that good number?
Well, there's a big difference between B2C versus B2B products. Business to consumer, B2C. Think Netflix. Their conversion rate is reportedly huge, like 93%.
93%.
Wow. Yeah, or Amazon Prime, around 73%. B2C trials often convert much higher. Maybe it's a lower price point, more immediate value, simpler decision. On the other hand, business to business, B2B products, they usually have lower conversion rates. Trials might be shorter, the products are often more complex, involve more stakeholders maybe.
But the value per customer is higher.
Exactly. They tend to make up for it with a much higher customer lifetime value, or LTV. That's the total revenue you expect from one customer over time. So ChargeBee, a subscription billing platform, has like a 15% conversion rate. Seems low compared to Netflix, right?
Yep.
But they've apparently brought in over $100 million in lifetime revenue.
Okay, so volume versus value.
Kind of. And you look at big players like HubSpot, a CRM giant, over $1 billion in annual recurring revenue, ARR. That's predictable subscription income. So yeah, the B2B conversion rate might be lower, but each converted customer can be incredibly valuable over the long haul.
That context is crucial. And you mentioned trial types again.
Absolutely. We touched on it, but it's worth reemphasizing. That soft letter study, it found opt-out trials, the ones requiring credit cards, averaged around 50% conversion, whereas opt-in trials, no card needed, averaged only about 25%.
Half the rate.
Pretty much. Combine that with the first page Sage data we mentioned earlier, and it consistently points to opt-out trials converting maybe 2 to 3 times higher. So choosing your trial model isn't just, a minor detail. It's a fundamental lever for conversion.
It really lays out how much nuance there is. It's not just if you offer a trial, but how. Okay, so beyond the trial type itself, what other big factors really move the needle on whether a free user converts?
Yeah, there are 3 things that consistently have a huge impact. First one, the free trial period length. Most SaaS trials are somewhere between, say, a week and a month, but finding the perfect length, it's a balancing act.
How so?
Well, a longer period, maybe 30 days, gives users more time to really explore, understand the features, see the full value. Sounds good, right? But a shorter period, like 7 or 14 days, creates this sense of urgency. It pushes people to actually use the product and make a decision before access disappears.
So too short, they don't see the value. Too long, they lose momentum.
Exactly. The ideal length really depends on the product itself. How complex is it? How long does it genuinely take for a user to hit that aha moment where they see the core value? There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Okay, trial length. What's number 2?
Number 2 is pricing structure. And this is huge. It's not just the dollar amount. It's that whole equation of perceived value versus affordability. If your product feels too expensive for what users think it delivers during the trial, they'll hesitate to convert, even if they kind of liked it.
Right. Sticker shock.
Yep. But interestingly, pricing it too low can also backfire. People might subconsciously question the quality or robustness if it seems suspiciously cheap.
Didn't think of that angle.
Yeah. And one approach mentioned is usage-based pricing, tying the cost directly to how much the customer actually uses the product. For some products, this aligns value and cost really well and can boost conversion.
Okay, pricing is key. What's the third pillar?
The third one, and maybe the most foundational, is user experience, or UX. This covers everything. From the moment they sign up that initial onboarding, how easy is it to get started, right through to any customer service interactions during the trial?
So the whole journey.
The entire journey. How easy is the product to use? Is the communication clear? Do you offer good help resources? All these things add up. The key thing with UX is it's not just about making things look nice. It's about systematically finding and removing every single friction point, every moment of confusion, anything that could stop a user from experiencing that core value, that aha moment you need them to have.
Engineering success, almost.
That's a great way to put it. You're engineering that path to value. A smooth, positive, helpful experience that will almost always lead to better conversion rates. It's fundamental.
Okay, UX is clearly massive. So pulling all this together, the trial types, pricing, UX, trial length, what are the actual practical steps companies can take to improve conversion? What's the how-to?
Right, let's get practical. There are 4 key best practices that seem to really work. First, find the right balance of product features for the trial. You need to offer enough features so users see real value, understand what your product does for them, but don't throw the entire kitchen sink at them.
Overwhelm kills conversion.
Absolutely. Too many features, too much complexity early on, and people get lost or confused. The best bet. Look at what your most successful current customers, your power users, actually use regularly. Include those core high-impact features in the trial. Focus on showcasing the stuff that truly delivers value, not just everything you've built.
Focus on the core value prop. Makes sense. What's next?
Second, help users achieve success with in-app guidance. Don't just drop them into the product and hope for the best. You need to proactively guide them. Use things like interactive walkthroughs, tooltips, checklists, triggered contextually.
Like when they first encounter a new feature.
Exactly. Guide them through it the first time. This massively cuts down their time to value, how quickly they get that benefit. And crucially, it stops them from getting stuck and frustrated, which is a huge reason people abandon trials.
Okay, so active guidance, not passive hope. Third,
Offer self-service support through a resource center. Empower your users. Make it easy for them to find answers themselves. Have help articles, FAQs, maybe short video tutorials, all accessible right there within the app, maybe in a little help widget or resource center.
so they don't have to wait for an email response.
Precisely. Waiting for support creates friction. Letting them solve simple problems instantly keeps them moving forward, keeps them engaged with the product during that critical trial window.
Reduces friction, keeps momentum. Good one. And the last one.
Fourth, trigger contextual upgrade prompts. Timing is everything when asking people to pay. Upselling works best at what you might call high-intent moments, when the user is actively using the product and runs into a limitation of the free tier or wants to use a premium feature.
Like the Loom example.
Exactly. Loom does this brilliantly. If you're on the free plan and hit your recording time limit, that's when they prompt you to upgrade. You have an immediate need, you're already engaged. It's so much more effective than random pop-ups asking you to upgrade when you're just trying to do something else. Meet them at their moment of need.
Context is king there too. Okay, wow. We've really covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We started off just defining free trial conversion rates, why they matter so much for growth. Then we got into the different trial types, the benchmarks.
Yeah, and how much context like industry and B2B versus B2C matters.
Right. And then we dug into those key factors influencing the rates, trial length, pricing, that all-important UX, and finally landed on those 4 actionable best practices for actually improving things.
And it's interesting, isn't it? The calculation itself is, well, pretty simple math. But actually optimizing that number, that's complex. It really comes down to how those 3 big factors, trial, period, pricing, and UX, all interact with each other. But the consistent thread, I think, is that delivering a genuinely positive, helpful, low-friction trial experience, using those best practices we talked about, that seems to be the most reliable path to getting more users to convert. It's less about tricks, more about systematically delivering value and making it easy for users to see it.
So thinking about all this, how deeply tied conversion is to perceived value, urgency, a smooth experience. It makes me wonder, maybe take a second and think about a product or service you use right now. Did it start with a free trial or some kind of introductory offer? Can you pinpoint that moment when you went from just trying it out to becoming a loyal paying customer? What was that aha moment for you? What made you decide, okay, yeah, this is worth paying for? Something to think about.